roll up, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on earth. Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Two Ring Circus podcast. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next.
Amazing.
Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano
Hello.
and Matt Bradshaw.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to episode 92 of the Two Ring Circus podcast. I am Dom Italiano with a silly voice.
Jesus. You okay?
When I was sick yesterday, and Kat rang me, I know I've got a girlfriend, she said, "Oh, I don't know about this, you sound like a different person." She didn't want to talk to me because I sounded wrong.
You did sound sick today, even when you turned up for the gig.
Yeah, I do sound a bit wrong.
It's currently Tuesday night after the gig. It's about 11 o'clock at night.
It is.
We've just left the Tuesday night party crew down at the pub at Crown.
Yes, we should give them a shout out on the podcast because they all listen to it or watch it in various forms.
Yeah. So, hello, Renee, Kate, Glenn, and Veronica.
Hi.
Does Kate listen to it?
No, she doesn't know what we're doing.
No. But Glenn does. God bless him.
He's a big supporter.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is nice.
I like him.
Yeah, it's a
He's
shame we
he's a
can't
good
play
boy.
their engagement party, isn't it?
It is.
What a
Previous,
couple of dicks we are.
previous engagements.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
How long have you been sick? When did you get sick?
About Sunday, about 2 o'clock. So
Wow.
on the way to my gig, when I get a bit of a kind of coldy thing, it always first shows up like a brick in my sinuses, like in my head, in the middle of my head.
Yeah, right.
So I started to feel a bit rough, but I was all right during the day. But then overnight, got real sick. But yesterday I didn't get out of bed really till 6:30.
I can pinpoint it too. Like the moment I start to get a sore throat, I fucking know.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
But I think I slept most of it off, and today I slept I think till about 2ish, and then kind of spent the rest of the day on the couch, kind of before I came to the gig. So I feel like I'm through the worst of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. That's
Well,
short.
Yeah, I mean I think it might last into the weekend as far as just the residual, but unless I wake up tomorrow and I'm worse. But yeah, I think I'm good.
That was a fun gig tonight, though.
It was.
It was cute.
People are nice.
Yeah.
Most people are nice. In the world.
So I think tomorrow I'm going to try a flotation tank for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I look
What
forward
for?
to. What?
What's your motivation for flotation?
Well, I've thought about it in the past, but never actually committed. But Shannon's wife, Belinda, tried it recently and is a massive convert for it.
For why though?
What do you mean?
What's the point of going? Why would anyone go to a flotation tank? What does it do?
I
don't know. I don't know anything about it.
It's a sensory deprivation type of arrangement.
Yeah.
So,
What motivates one to go and do such a thing?
well, I tell you what. Why don't I go and do it, and then I'll tell you what my experience is.
Yeah, but why?
I think that'll be the reason.
Why?
I think that'll be the reason.
Are you just interested to see what it's like?
Yes,
All right, cool. Just fucking say that, dude. Jesus.
but I think I'll fucking turn this car around.
I wasn't trying to be a dick or anything. I was just like, I didn't know why. When I say I don't know why anyone would go, it's like I don't know what they're for, or what you do, or how you end up going to one. So
That's why I said I'll tell you my experience. after the
okay.
fact.
Why
I
did
look-
Belinda end up going?
I look forward to.
What was her motivation?
I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't spoken to her.
I'm not
about
trying to be a method actor or anything. What's your motivation?
it. Huh. All right. So, I'm quite excited though,
Okay.
because hers was an incredibly positive experience.
In what respect?
She enjoyed it very much
Why?
because she enjoyed it. Why does anyone enjoy something?
Well, they
Because it's
usually-
enjoyable.
well, that's not true.
What do you mean?
Well, I think people are able to articulate the reasons why they liked it.
Are they?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Why? Because I enjoyed it. That's. I mean, I know she's a parent, and that's how parents answer children questions all the time. But I think that people would be able to give reasons. Like, why did you go to this thing? Because I wanted to. How come? Because I wanted to. Just sorry, it doesn't wash for me.
Well, no, you float.
Yes, I understand.
So it's not about bathing.
Well, I
So
look forward
the water is exactly body temperature,
And salted?
Epsom salts.
Yes.
So because it's the same temperature as your body, and because you float, apparently there isn't a sensation of where the water actually touches you.
Right.
So you literally feel like you're floating, but not
Yes.
floating in water, but actually floating.
Actually floating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's yeah.
Well, I look forward to hearing about your experience.
And so in meditation, where you kind of try to empty your mind of any thought, Belinda's experience was that thoughts would sort of come in but immediately go, like just the
In the tank.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually almost unable to hold on to an idea or a concept for any length of time,
That's interesting.
and not falling asleep,
Yep.
but just so I'm completely intrigued. I think
Yeah,
tomorrow
that's
I'll give it a
interesting.
go.
Cool. Well, great.
Because I took Monday off. What did I do yesterday? I got up reasonably early and I hung out with the cat for a bit. I don't know what I did yesterday.
took the day off.
Oh,
You
fuck!
had a
I know
weekend.
what I did. I went to the MC Escher exhibition.
Oh, I would love to have gone to that sometime.
Well, see, the whole thing is that the MoMA exhibition was here, the New York Museum of Modern Art. They were cleaning the gallery in New York, so they took the opportunity to send the exhibition around, and it was in Melbourne for 4 months maybe, and I didn't go.
Have you been
missed
to the New York?
I haven't been to New York.
Okay, well, there you go. Said
Makes
no.
it difficult to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really disappointed I missed that. So I had to make it my job to go to this thing, and it was really enjoyable. Why was it enjoyable? Because it was enjoyable.
Excellent.
I can articulate more than that on that subject. I am amazed when I'm in awe when I get to see these works of art that I've looked at in books for years and years and years. And when I get to see them in person, it's quite get a bit overcome by it. Yeah. So it was fucking cool. It's a good time.
Good.
It's a good time.
Good
It's
time.
on till the 7th, so you've got barely a scant couple of weeks to get and go
I'll
and
have
see
to
it.
go Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
No.
Sugar. Damn.
Sugar damn.
Sugar damn. I might just miss another thing.
Why can't you go on Tuesday?
So I'm back in the studio.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at you. With your newfound wealth and prosperity.
I know. Someone said to me, well, now someone said to me, oh, you're $14,000 rich. I'm like, it's spent.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
I'm not.
I'm not fucking going on the holiday to the Bahamas.
No, I'm not even putting new gutters on my house.
God. Like, anyway, like, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that people see the world the way they see it. And you have to work out how much of re-explaining the world to people that you're prepared to do in certain situations like that. Like someone saying, oh wow, you know, what's it feel like to be $14,000 richer? And I was like, I wouldn't fucking know. Like,
How funny.
yeah.
That's a really funny
And why
reaction
would
to
you
that.
think that? And it's like we've even spoken the last couple of podcasts about how, oh, that's right, people just see the world the way they see it, and they don't know that things are different to the way they see it.
Do they enjoy it though?
Sometimes. I think certainly people get a lot more out of seeing the world negatively than they do seeing it positively.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
why would they live any other way if they weren't getting something out of it?
no, I just mean I think it's it's easier to, it's easier to, which is pretty much what our podcast is, isn't it? Really, it's easier to talk about problems and muse on solutions than it is to go, hey, that thing's really good. So how do we have to solve the problem of the good thing? Well, we don't, because there's no problem with it, so we don't really need to talk about it that much.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me have a little money conversation with you.
Okay.
Couple of money things.
Right. Well, I'm an expert because I'm $14,000 richer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I've spoken about the exorbitant amount of money I spend on CityLink tolls.
Yes.
My first experimental month is coming to the end.
Oh, do you have a result?
Well, next week, a little bit like my flotation tank, I'll be able to give you figures.
Oh.
Because I think the other thing that needs to happen, it's not just I'm no longer going to take toll roads because I refuse to pay $500 a month in tolls. Because there absolutely is a valid component of I'm spending this much more time in the car. It's a little bit unquantifiable. And this much more in fuel. And that's certainly the quantifiable part. If it's costing me X amount of dollars less to go this way, but it's costing me X amount of dollars, Y amount of dollars more. Yeah, there's got to be, and it's still going to be no fucking no contest there. I know that, but I think it's worth having a look at it.
Yep.
But yeah, I looked yesterday, and I didn't start for a whole month, as in because I think the month runs from the 20th to the 20th kind of vibe. 30 days from the
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yes.
And I think my monthly spend was $80 instead of $500.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's a substantial difference.
Yeah.
Obviously. That makes me $420 richer. But it actually does. Not
Yeah.
like your 14,000.
Well, it doesn't. And it's because, you see, the previous month you were $500 down.
Yes.
And now you're only at $80 down.
Correct.
Doesn't make you $420
I know.
richer. It just makes you $420 less poor.
Here, I'm going to be the barefoot investor for a second, because here's the thing that happened today as well. I was paying people for gigs, paying subcontractors for gigs, and not you. And I happened to glance at my credit card account and saw that there was a yearly fee that had been charged.
Yes.
Now, this is a little bit embarrassing, which is what I said when I rang them and said, I'm a bit embarrassed that I didn't realise that every year I'm getting charged this. And it's $118.
Yeah.
But the principle of it was what irked me. One, and I absolutely fell on my sword and said, this is dumb and I should have known. But so it was paid on the 1st of March. I said, is that in advance of the year or retrospective? No, you pay at the start of the year. Right.
Yep.
Oh. Okay. I'm not very happy about that. So I think I'm going to cancel this credit card. Oh, we have other options. Do you charge for any of them? Yeah. I said, well, I've actually been online before I called you and found a whole bunch of no yearly fee credit cards. And not just no fee for the first year. No fee. Full stop. Right. How many award points do you have with us? 177,000. Right. So she offered me a couple of options and then said, well, I can see you've been a loyal customer with us. So what if I refund you $50 from that just for now until you sort out what it is that you're going to do? I said, that's fine. Do that. $50 is, well, $50 is $50. But she what she did say, she didn't just say you've been a loyal customer of ours for a long time. She said you've been a loyal customer of ours for 24 years. And so she said, so I can refund $50, about $118 for that. And I wanted to say, wow, that's
a loyalty.
That's incredibly generous. Oh, $2 a year. That's extremely. Anyway, so the point being, the barefoot investor part of this is if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
And threaten to leave things, because they do change their minds and they do move the goalpost to try and accommodate you. If you ring your phone provider and say, this is fucking nuts what you're charging me here, they'll try to keep you.
Yeah. I think you're right. There's also idiots like me that do take the approach, well, if I want to use something, I'm happy to pay for it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But surely you understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you in one iota. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm paying interest on purchases. They're making their money. I'm paying $118 to buy this card for a year, to rent this fucking piece of plastic for a year.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
No. Well, you're paying for
What?
the convenience of using a system. Convenience of using a system that has cost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. Like
What's the interest for then?
You're paying. Well, the interest is to the bank. Like, so this, see, and the system. So the credit card system isn't.
So how can other credit card companies offer free?
How can they?
Yes.
Right, because they know that they. Here's the thing, like, so there's lots of options and lots of equations that go on, but other credit card companies know that people who are looking for zero fee credit cards are going to pay shitloads of interest because they're going to be
These are 11.5% cards.
No.
Less.
No. That's not the point. It's not about, when I say shitloads of interest, it's like they are the type of customers that will never pay off their credit card. They will pay interest every month, right? So people who
Okay.
that's those type of customers who are going for zero fee, low rate credit cards, right? Enticed
Are
by.
you suggesting I'm completely the anomaly in this?
No, I'm not saying you're completely the anomaly, because there are millions and millions of people that use a product, these kind of products. What I'm saying is, the type of people in general that look for low rate, low fee cards, right, are also the type of people that the banks know and the lenders know that they are more likely to, at the end of the month, always pay an interest fee to the bank. So they go, we'll entice them in like this and we'll get them every month with an interest fee, right? People who have, like, you've got a rewards card, right? So you're the kind of person who, in general, probably is happy to pay their yearly fee to use a system that gives them rewards, because that effectively, if you use your card enough, you will get enough points to be out on top for using that system, right? And you are more likely to, when I say you, not like the collective whole of who uses that card, are more likely to use the card all the month and pay it off at the end of every month. Never pay interest, and the only fee that they ever really pay is a yearly fee, so that you get the convenience of using the card, right? They never really pay interest on the card, and the only fee that they pay is the annual fee. And then because they do all of their spending on the card and at the end of every month pay it off and don't pay interest, right? They accrue the points and put those points to Christmas shopping at the end of every year. So certain cards attract certain types of people, and that's why there are different tiered cards. And banks tend to have fees and stuff associated with them, because the type of people that want a bank credit card, like or a rewards card or whatnot, are the type of customer that the bank wants to have. Most of the other low fee, no annual fee cards and stuff like that, every bank's got one, but they're not really pushing for it. But lots of external kind of lenders, that like the Virgin Money and stuff like that, they're banking on the kind of clientele that is always going to have an interest component at the end of every month. They're not going to pay off their card. So it's all about what banks feel like the type of customer that they want, and the cards are designed for different type of customers. Yeah.
Thanks.
What?
Now I know a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know before.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of people. What's that face for?
I don't know.
So you're absolutely right. You know, like there's a big, huge system there, and if you go to them and say, "I'm happy to go somewhere else and use a different system," they'll, you know, if they really want to keep you, they'll throw you a bone. But a lot of them will go, "Okay, cool," because a lot of them, like they'll look at you, for example, and they'll see how you are financially, and they go, "Oh, we want to keep this guy. He's like an A+ customer. Like, he doesn't have a lot of debt. He's got money in the bank, and he always pays his card off on time. That's the kind of person we want to kind of entice to keep." But there'll be a lot of people that go, "Actually, you're a bit of a pain in the ass. We have to call you every month to get you to pay your credit card. We're happy for you to go." And also,
I thought it was the other way around. I thought they'd be happy to see me go because they don't actually make any money out of me.
yeah, but you potentially the kind of, you know, they'll be seeing the money that goes in and out of your accounts. I mean, I don't know if you do all of your banking with the one bank. Some
do.
people
That's
do.
the whole
some people
point.
don't. Yeah, they will try to keep you if you are the kind of customer with, you know, a net worth or a in and out of money that they're quite happy for.
You know,
A net worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those cards are just, you know, those secondary tier lenders and stuff like that, which have all the attractive looking deals. Also know that they make all their money off people who use the product the way it suits the bank.
Yeah, of course.
Or the lender, because a lot of them are non-bank lenders.
As with most things, for me, it's the principle.
Sure.
Fuck you, is what I say.
Okay. It's kind of like I had this very similar conversation with someone about Spotify, and there's a link in the sense of they were complaining about how much musos get paid, because we don't, you know, get paid fuck all, you know, what, less than 0.5% per listen. And I was like, well, why didn't you come up with the system? Why don't you design the technology and put the hundreds of millions of dollars into designing it, right? And then the tens of millions of dollars a month it takes to have the geniuses run it. Right? I was like, well, you didn't, because you're not capable, and that's why we don't get paid that much for it, because those people did. Like, what are we grabbing for? Just don't put your music on Spotify if you don't want, you don't like it. It's the kind of thing. Don't use a credit card if you don't want to pay a fee, or find one, as you are trying to go, find one that's going to give you the best deal. But in that situation with the Spotify, it's like, none of them are going to give you the best deal.
Do you ever use any reward points for anything?
No, I don't have any raw cards.
You don't have anything for anything? You don't have a freaking flyer card or anything?
And that's dumb, because, well, surely with, you know, just the amount of money that you end up spending in everyday life, you'd end up accruing stuff. But I just never have. Just seemed like another thing. So I could probably get, you know, $100 voucher every year or something like that if I wanted to, but maybe I'd end up having to spend $100 on a yearly annual fee for something I didn't want. So
Yeah.
I've had flybys.
It's taken me 25 years, clearly, to get these 177,000 points. I've never.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've had flybys and stuff, and I have occasionally over the years, like I'm sort of 10 years ago, when I was with Combank, and I had my mortgage with them, like I got $100 of, you know, prepaid Visa cards or something like that. But yeah, I've never done that kind of stuff. I'm amazed how often Kat gets an email from one of the places she buys clothes from, which is like, "Oh, congratulations, you've got like a $50 voucher." It's like, oh great, that could buy you a sleeve of a shirt that you buy from them. And so
She doesn't get everything from Country Road, surely.
no, witchery. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, those rewards programs, like a lot of those, I didn't realise, because I don't, like, I'm not a member of Just Jeans. I only ever buy my jeans from Just Jeans because I know I can walk in, pick up a pair of jeans off the shelf, right, and be out of there in 3 to 6 minutes. Occasionally I buy from Maya, depending on who's got the deal. But I'm not a member of Maya One or a member of the Just Jeans Club or whatever, because just like, I don't want you knowing.
No.
I don't want you sending me emails every fucking week or every day with a voucher for this and that or the other. So, and it's not that I have a problem with that, that there are those systems there for other people for stuff. Like if there was one for, guitar strings and things like that, then I'm probably onto it. But
I'm pretty sick
can't
of
wear guitar strings.
companies following up with me on every little thing. How did we do? The customer satisfaction thing on nearly everything that I've done recently. Fucking hire cars, and it's like, just, I've got the car, I've paid for it, just let me go away. I've gone and driven it, and now I've brought it back. Hooray! Everyone's happy.
Yeah, that brings us right full circle to the thing about before. I mean, if you're happy with your experience, no feedback.
Oh,
If you're not clapping, yeah, very good. Isn't that the kind of the way? It's like, I'm happy. If I had a problem, I'd let you know. And I think they're trying to turn that around to, we're just wanting all kinds of feedback. Give you the opportunity to say something nice and feel good about it.
yeah, right.
But it does seem like what you said, that there's this massive multiple industry-wide campaign going to all do the same thing. It's like, well, none of you are standing out.
And every tiny little thing.
Yeah. How likely
like
would you be?
banal purchases.
How likely would you be to recommend our service to someone else? It's like, well, do you need to know that? I guess I do. I guess it helps them. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's all just got a bit. I'm no longer using Google Maps
No, why?
because I fucking don't like Google.
Why is that?
Because I
This
just don't. In so many facets of my life, I choose to spend my consumer dollar, without going through multinational companies and all that sort of stuff. And to me, that's a natural extension of the way I kind of make my consumer choices. I just don't.
What maps do you use?
Waze.
Waze. Didn't know that was a thing.
I tried it once years ago and I wasn't that fond of it, but I was chatting with Steve Vagona the other day and he said he was back on it.
Right.
And I am. And it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Google. Getting all my stuff away.
What do you mean?
Google freely admits that they share people's. No, look at you.
Oh, not back on yet. They were on.
Private emails with, well, the US government for a start. Yeah. They don't need to know my stuff.
Yeah, true.
And that's not about having anything to hide.
No. I kind of like, I think why aren't I bothered by it? Oh, I just feel like everything's tracked anyway.
Yeah, but then that's... Why not make choices to keep stuff to yourself where you can?
Yeah. Sure.
Why not start to kind of fight back a bit?
Well, it's that... Maybe it's that feeling of... I'm not experiencing any... I can't extrapolate from these situations how this will be a problem for me. That's all.
You mean the you personally or the you society? Because that's my issue with it. I don't do anything that anyone would have any interest in at all. But it's a wider ranging issue for me.
And well, it's,
like we've talked about it before
Yeah.
about the fucking facial recognition software.
I guess there's an element to me is like, what mistake would you rather make? What problem would you rather have? A problem where the information's out there and it's and it is, and that it's being analysed, say, like by the governments, and really they're just trying to monitor everything, and they're looking for. I mean, they're just as much looking for patterns in behaviour, for things like, well, where are we going to allocate money in our budget for this and that, as they are looking for terrorist problems and stuff like that. I imagine. I mean, imagine there's they're using all of the information in all of the ways possible. And it's like, well, would I rather them not be free and open about using all of the information in all of the ways, or I'd rather them keep it all secret? I kind of rather like, you know what, use it for as much good as you possibly can, because I think there will always be people that use information for bad. I see what you mean. I guess it's that element of like, well, I'm not worried. But I tend not to worry about stuff that I don't know about. But I definitely, the whole fight back thing, I'm not a fight backer. I don't see fights in the world anyway, so yeah, interesting. A lot of things. I mean, I'm sure that you know more about, because you've taken more of an interest. You know more about the potential extrapolated problems that those things can create.
I just think that we are blessed to live in a relatively idyllic part of the world, and that includes our system of government, not just our general environment.
Yep.
But the issues I see that have come up in different parts of the world, they extend and they infiltrate, and that's
What kind of things? Just because I don't know what you mean. So,
well, the way technology is used and the way people are tracked.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm really only talking about places like fucking the UK and the US. Fucking, there's no street corner in London that doesn't have a fucking camera on it. We're just being monitored 24/7.
Yeah.
Under the guise of public safety. But I don't want to see that happen here, and it will happen. I really don't want that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's an element of I don't know, we've spoken about this before many times. Like the more you tell someone you can't do something, the more people want to do it. The more they want to dissent, and even there's an element to what you're talking about now. About here's all this amazing technology that you get all the great benefits from, but it can be abused, and so there's an element to needing to dissent.
And I know that someone knows where I am all the time because I've got this with me, because it's omnipresent, and we all do. I don't like it, but that's I accept that trade-off for the convenience that this thing offers me.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like, well,
But if there are ways that I can reduce that, I fucking will.
yeah, okay.
Google Maps doesn't need to know where the fuck I am all the time.
Sure. It needs to know where you are when you use it. It doesn't need to know where you are when you're not using it. And that's the element of me going like, well, I don't know what the program that you've got there for me to get rewards from. I'm not joining it. I don't really give a shit. Yeah, sure. Every 10th pair of jeans might be free. Yeah, whatever. I buy jeans at discount anyway, so every 10th pair of jeans is free, effectively. Yeah. It is a similar sort of situation. That, well, it doesn't need to know where I am all the time, but it probably owns the other company you of the maps that you use anyway, and given the tens of thousands of satellites that are in the air, it probably still knows. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Just that thing. I remember talking to someone recently about the self-service checkouts, and I just put anything in there, like, or whatever. I was like, dude, they know. Like, do you pay with FPOS? Well, yeah. It's like, so every time you swipe your card, they've got a database that knows everything that card has ever purchased, at what date, at what Woolworths, right? And it knows for some reason that you put through 4 different bags of mushrooms. Why would you put 4 different bags of mushrooms? And why is mushrooms 450 grams of mushrooms in each bag? Like, you know how many mushrooms have to be in a bag for that? It's like, they know when people are doing dodgy shit like that. And one day they're gonna know. They're gonna go, oh, this guy swiped his card again. Let's just go check his bag on the way out of the thing. Bang, there you go. And they've got every transaction you've ever made, and they've got it on camera. It's like, so don't do dodgy shit. Use the system properly.
450 grams of mushrooms? What story are you telling me here?
Well, I'm just like, no, just saying like,
I got lost in the details.
right, I'm just saying that where people kind of use the system and they can self-process their stuff.
And
through the
so
self-process.
they're not mushrooms.
So they're not mushrooms at all.
No,
They're
there are other
fucking-
things that
they're
are more
almonds.
expensive. They're mangoes.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
right.
So mushrooms are $1, like $1.
Fuck, I had no idea what was happening.
That's right. The mushrooms are $1 a kilo, but they put
Right.
ginger in the bag,
Okay.
and so they're like getting instead of like, and they're being dodgy like that. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
wow. Really?
yeah. People think,
There
oh,
you go.
you know,
There's
no,
another barefoot investor tip for you.
no one's watching. It's
mean-
just like fucking people are watching. They're always watching. Like you gotta be prepared for shit you do to come back at you.
What about the Amazon stores in America where there's no staff
Yeah, they just know. It just knows that you put stuff in your basket and then you walk out with it.
and you walk out with it?
Yeah.
You don't scan it.
Ah.
You just walk out. It's fucking wild.
Well, that's the thing. It's
I
like
wouldn't shop there.
it's like how much. It's like kind of people talking about, I looked on my browser at something and then it showed up in my Facebook ads. It's like, well, like personally, I love that shit
Yeah, of course you do.
because it's like, well, great.
Yeah,
That's what
because there it is.
there it
You
is.
don't
That's
have
that's what I'm using the technology for. If I didn't want the technology to do that, I wouldn't use it. And I don't know how much. I guess there's that part of me that says, well, how
That's
much?
different to I'm having a conversation with my friend about fucking tampons, and then I get tampon ads on my phone. That hasn't happened to me, but that's anecdotally you hear.
Incidentally, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were having a good laugh about that. Someone had sent a message through an email. So can you talk about technology and how people are using technology for music search? And he said, because I can't get my Alexa to even order me toilet paper, and they've said on the Alexa order blah 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 toilet paper, and then a week later this dude ended up with toilet paper show up. He's like, I didn't even order this, and it was because he was listening to their podcast, and it ordered him to Alexa was listening to him, and it ordered toilet paper in his house. Fucking laugh. Mum gave me one of those Google Home things a year and a half ago for Christmas or something. I've never plugged it in. I don't want I'm happy to walk up to my phone and go, oh, I'm going to listen to that song. I've never used Siri. I don't want to talk to my appliances to do stuff for me.
It's bad enough we've got to listen to music written by them.
Well, there's that element. So I think we feel similarly about how the technology works. Like, I don't want things automatically listening. I'm also not willingly going to put those things in my house. But the thing with something like this, it's like, yep, I get it. Like, that's the contract I make with using the tech. Like,
Yep.
if I want to use Gmail, I get it. Like, I haven't read all the conditions, but I understand that's something that happens. Do I have a problem with it? Well, it's the trade-off.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
I'm making conscious choices.
Yeah, and I think that's great. That was just me asking. When I asked you about those conscious choices, I wasn't trying to be. I hope you didn't take my question asking as criticism. I'm genuinely interested in how people get to those points in their life where they make those type of decisions. I find that stuff interesting. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I just like in so many facets of my life, just that's the way I choose to live my life, the way I choose to kind of make my part of the world a bit more civilized and a bit happier and friendlier and more respectful. The choices I make about the way I use technology are about a bigger picture as well. However naive that may well sound, and I realise when I say it, I know it is, because I understand the world we live in. I'm not a fool about that sort of stuff, but just the more people I think do consciously make choices about the way they interact with the world, then I think the better we are as a society, and that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to briefly you and I had a chat last week before we did our podcast about, does anything really matter? That's not we were talking about the Queen film. But every choice, if you think it matters, it matters. Every choice you make has repercussions, and every choice you don't make has repercussions too. And like even the idea of not doing things has a result. So yeah, I do think it just goes to show that everything you do is important.
Remind me next time we get together, because we should wrap this up. I have something else to talk to you about.
Okay.
Yes.
On the podcast?
On the podcast.
Ah, okay. Not real life.
No.
It's not real life. It's a podcast.
Yeah. Yes, a government type money spending thing. That's all you need to say to me, and I'll remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, I might not.
Because I learnt something new.
Oh.
And it fucking blew me away, and it's probably really obvious.
Good blow
to
or bad
people.
blow?
Wacky, crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, interesting.
Cool. All right. What do I have to say?
Just remind me. Just say government
money spending thing. Okay. I'll try to. We
and
should
deficit. Use the word deficit.
Oh, deficit.
And then I'll definitely remember. I'll deficit lead to remember.
We should do that podcast now then, so I remember to ask you.
No, you'll be right.
All right. Cool.
You go home and rest. Your clown shoes.
I'm gonna
It's
sleep all
11:30.
day again.
Yeah. Are you really?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Will you sleep all day and let me know how that goes? I'm going to go and float in the low
Oh yeah.
tox fox. I think that's what the place is called now.
What?
Mornington.
Low tox fox.
Yeah. I haven't booked. They might not have a space.
I'd
for me.
Google it, but I know you don't want me to. What do you use instead of Google?
Firefox.
Firefox. I use Firefox.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a VPA at home.
VPA. Shoot.
VPN. Sorry.
That's got a virtual personal assistant.
An invisible panty nodule.
Salada biscuits. Yeah.
Fido Eats.
Good.
That's what I'm going home to have.
Yeah.
That's what I had for lunch.
I had that last
okay.
night.
So
Swiss cheese.
fuck it.
Sandwich?
Oh no, I had Bega extra tasty.
Oh, I'm really hungry now.
Because Bega,
You better
It's
buy
good.
it bigger.
locally owned.
There you go.
Yeah. Don't need to involve any of the Japanese companies in our Australian stuff. That's not racist.
No.
That's just keep it at home. Stop giving the multinationals our money. Just stop it. Stop it. That's not consumer advice, that's life advice.
That's interesting. All right. Were you going to say something else before we go?
I was going to say colourless urine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about it?
Well, you and I each had a wee
Yes.
before we did this podcast, or I'd have been more agitated even than I am.
Yes. You were, yeah.
And I was impressed that my wee was pretty well completely colourless, even though I haven't drunk any water for perhaps 3 days.
Right.
So I had a couple of coffees today, and a couple of beers, and a couple of Black Sambuca shots today.
How much food have you eaten in the last couple of days?
See, then you said it's not just about. I can't remember what you
Liquids.
said. Yeah.
The ingesting of liquids.
But I just always think that if I drink a lot of water, regardless of what happens, then obviously everything gets diluted, and that's the aim. The aim, if you can aim.
Yeah.
Boys can aim. They got a fucking tube to hold on to.
True.
Today I had biscuits and cheese and tomato.
Yeah, so you didn't really have
No.
anything you didn't
No.
have that much with stuff that needed to be processed out.
No, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I just thought the back end was where all that stuff went.
It's a combo.
Okay.
Yeah. It works together.
Like a Happy Meal?
Well, that would definitely change the colour of the urine.
Ew.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Colourless urine. That's the aim.
There was
That's what you've all got to aim
when
for tomorrow.
When Fight Club came out, they instead of doing trailers, like they did a series of really short shorts, and just the two lead actors would just give random comments and facts.
Yeah.
And there was one. It was Brad Pitt was like urine, you can drink it. It's sterile. Fight Club. It was like this, like, a whole bunch of them like that. It's good.
Well, I could have drunk mine tonight. There are certainly mornings where I wouldn't, but I
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
tonight.
Mornings is definitely the time it's most likely to be a problem, I think.
A problem.
The kid
That's why I don't like
kids
the
do a
word
lot of work
pungent.
over- Why?
Well, because pungent has a pejorative kind of feeling to me, even though I know that's not the necessary meaning of the word. But pungent just always has a.
Yeah,
I
people
attach something to it that isn't necessarily there, but that's the way it works for me.
people do use words incorrectly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've never noticed.
Like shining like a diamond. I was like, I don't think diamonds shine. They reflect. They sparkle. But they need something to shine onto them for those things to happen. So I don't think shine like a diamond.
Who was that?
Fuck. Well,
Which one of those idiots was that?
which one? What?
Which one of those idiots sang that song?
Well, that was Rihanna. But
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. She's not an idiot.
but
She's alright. I thought it was Alicia. Can't find the keys.
But interestingly, because when PT was talking about song lyrics and whether they were good or not, like when I did write a response today, drearily, I was like, why don't I think the lyrics that, if I could, would get more than a C in Year 9 poetry? It's because of, shining so much brighter than a diamond never did. It's like, well,
Oh, is
like,
that
like, well,
part of your
I
reasoning?
think you, because what you can do, although I think whether you like something is subjective, I think you can objectively critique the quality of something with, like, for example, if you were a school teacher and this was handed in, you would have a rubric written up where you were like, do any of these things happen? Does this happen? Does this happen? And then you have like 1 to 5 or 1 to 7, whatever, to be able to mark it. And for example, that's kind of a not particularly interesting or even correct way to phrase that thing. So you would go, well, I'm marking that down, right? So that was what I was typing. I was like, I'm not sending this. This is ridiculous.
But then you did.
I didn't send it.
Oh, you didn't send that bit.
No. But that's my thing of like, people use words incorrectly.
They do, and they do it under the guise of beauty is in the eye of the beholder,
Yeah.
which is true, but not to the exclusivity of something being objectively
Well, I
good
also
or bad.
yes, and I also said in this thing that I didn't send is that people often use "this is good" instead of "I like it." People often say that's shit instead of "I don't like
Of course.
it." Right? So they try to make it an objective statement, but really they're actually meaning it subjectively. I was like, well, that's the thing. Like, you can be objective, and you can. So, like, for example, I love that song, right? Without thinking the lyrics are very good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean
You and I have a long history of that in the music we grew up listening to.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, lots of terrible lyrics, and then lots of songs. Like I gave that example of Bon Jovi's "Bed of Roses." Some really good lines in that song.
Sure.
Some really crummy ones, right? And sometimes that can actually make a song better because it swings. Like it's got this kind of. Sometimes when it, like some of those Doors songs where every lyric is just a work of art, you're like, you can't get past the first verse because you're just stuck on how profoundly brilliant the first verse is, and you're like, oh fuck, there's another 2 verses of this genius. It's hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes having almost throwaway lyrics is really helpful. Sometimes not. Anyway, Salada Biscuits.
Message to my girl. Good lyrics.
But that's that's a great example where there's some really interesting use of language, but it's very simple, right? But there's no mistakes. There's no shining like a diamond.
No.
Like there's just like that's really simple, easy to understand language, and then the chorus just super powerful, like
Yeah.
without being too clever or too abstract. And Neilfin as a writer is often really wacky and abstract.
I don't want to say I love you. That would give away too much. It's wrapped up in conversation. It's whispered in a hush. Fuck me.
Yeah,
Just
Great.
great. That was a good request tonight.
it's a marvelous song. Hey, I'm going home to bed. Love you.
Okay, go.
I love you.
All right, I'm going to stay here and do some more.
All right.
So, what are we going to talk about now?
You can have my mic.
Thanks, man. All right, we'll see you next
Well,
Thursday.
you just pack this up and give it to me next week. Bye, Rob.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for glistening like a diamond. He's actually gone. Finally, now we can do something fun. Oh, no, wait, he's back.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Bye.